The sex trafficking trial against Sean Diddy Combs is nearing its end on Thursday as federal prosecutors and Combs' legal team make their closing arguments in a New York courtroom. Without the hip-hop mogul ever taking the stand, the court indicated that prosecutors would get 4 hours on Thursday, and then Combs' attorneys will take their turn on Friday, followed by an hour of prosecution rebuttal. The judge will then instruct the jury on relevant legal standards they should apply to reach a verdict. Jury deliberations might not start until next week. In closing arguments for the prosecution, Assistant U.S. Attorney Christy Slavic told the jury that Combs used power, violence, and fear to rule a criminal enterprise, which facilitated brutal sex crimes, the Associated Press reported. Slavic said Combs doesn't take no for an answer and counted on silence and shame to allow his abuse to continue. She also said he used a small army of employees to harm women and then cover it up. Charges against Sean Diddy Combs. Combs has pleaded not guilty to 5 counts. The first count is racketeering conspiracy, which alleges he abused, threatened, and coerced women and others around him to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Prosecutors allege Combs relied on employees, resources, and influence of his business empire to create a criminal enterprise that engaged in, or attempted to engage in, sex trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for the purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution, narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. The other 4 counts allege sex trafficking and transportation to engage in prostitution. Prosecutors said in a court filing Wednesday that jury instructions would not need to address allegations regarding attempted arson, attempted kidnapping, or aiding and abetting sex trafficking, since the government is no longer planning to proceed on these theories of liability. Sean Diddy Combs decided to not testify. Combs told U.S. District Judge Arun Subramanian on Tuesday that after thorough discussions with his attorneys, he decided he wouldn't testify. "That is my decision, Your Honor," Combs said, adding, "That is solely my decision." Combs has been active in his defense, often writing notes to his lawyers and sometimes helping them decide when to stop questioning a witness. Earlier this month, Subramanian threatened to potentially have Combs removed from court after the judge said Combs kept making expressions to the jury, including looking at him and nodding vigorously. During the testimony of graphic designer Brianna Bana Bongalan, a friend of Ventura Fine's, prosecutors say Combs used connections to orchestrate freak-offs. During the first week of the trial, Cassie Ventura Fine was called to the witness stand and testified that Combs pressured her into participating in freak-offs, drug-fueled episodes where Combs is accused of forcing attendees to perform sex acts with hired sex workers. Prosecutors have cited the events as evidence of sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy, alleging that Combs relied on employees, associates in his business accounts to fly male sex workers to Miami, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, and New York, where his staff set up hotel rooms for the encounters and cleaned up afterward. Over the decade of her on and off relationship with Combs, from 2007 until 2018, Ventura Fine said she was part of hundreds of such events.